So, hi everyone, I'm Srisha. In this video, I'll demonstrate how we can write a Java program to search a file in the whole computer system, not only in one folder or directory, but in all the directory available in this computer system. So, we'll first understand the requirements, and then we'll see the output, and then we'll dive into the program. So, the requirements are given a file name by the user, the program has to search in all the directories available in the computer, in the laptop or system. So if the user writes partial name or full name, it doesn't matter. It has to search in all the directories, and it also should give the available relevant files in the correct path, irrespective of the case. So say if there are two files with different extension, for example abcd.png and abcd.pdf, so it should give the IntelliJ should give the suggestion of both the files. And if the file is unique, for example abcd.pdf is the only file available in the laptop, then it should the program should ask if it can open the file for you. And also if there are two available files, as said abcd image and abcd pdf, and if we give the absolute path of any of one of the file, then the program should open that file. So these are the requirements. After that, let's see how can it be done simply for a folder. So let's see the output now. So I'm using Eclipse as the IDE. So whenever this is the main method where we have written the program, which is of 85 lines or something. So whenever we run this program, we use linear search in order to check each and every file available, so that no file is missed during the search algorithm. And it is also for simplicity of this video. And whenever we run this program, since it takes lots of time, I had made one thing. Wait a second. So if we can open, in my laptop there is only one drive, that is C drive. So I have taken this path for an example, the documents. So here I have put one image, some 8v.jpg file, so that this will be unique throughout my system. And one more file I have taken is this one, Emoto Waterbook copy and Emoto Waterbook the original, just for an example to show. The program works well for all the files, just for an example to show. So I had already ran this program a few minutes ago. So this is still running for this program. So here we can add given only a few partial name of the file, for example 8v.sss. So it searched the entire system and came up with this output. So available file is this full file name in this path. So in C user Srisha document, and this is a file name in this path. So after the search is complete, it is asking, do you wish to open the document, yes or no? So I'll just give yes, so that we'll see if the file is open. So if I give yes, see, the file got opened here. So this is an image, Vishnu. So we'll check for another case. So we'll just hover over this, run this again. So this time I was told, let's give Emoto water. So Emoto water, enter. So it takes little time because it has to search in all the files. So I'll just pause this video for a second. So likewise, as I told, it is giving the suggestions. Yeah, here it is. So it is giving the suggestions. Since it's my laptop, I know there are only two files like this in this documents path. So since it has to search in everything, this takes little time. So let's wait for this to finish in few seconds. So yeah, the search has been completed, and if it's asking, there are two files. So if you want to open any file, please copy paste the absolute path. So I'll just copy this, Control C, and I'll come here, paste it here, and I'll press enter. So this automatically opens the PDF which I stored. This is actually a research on the water when it's subjected to brain waves by a scientist. Let it be. Okay. So this is the output which we can see. So even if we give the complete path with extension, the result comes as desired, as per the requirement. So let's see how the program works. And if you press no to this, the program just terminates without crashing anything. And yeah, here so this is the main program. I have used only one class. So since I have used only one main class, I have declared everything as static, the global variables, string path, and the file data type. I have used the file data type for two variables here. In the main method where the program begins, I'm asking the user to enter the name of the file to be searched, and I'm taking in from the scanner.next line, and I'm calling the first method get root path. So if I just control click over here, it comes here. So in the get root path, we have to first find the root path. I mean, which is the root path, like C drive, D drive, and how much are the root path are there. So for that, the beginning, we are using this function. We can use this inside the try block. For simplicity, I just put the throws exception here. So in the files path, I am listing all the roots path. File.list root is an inbuilt method from Java which lists the root path. So I'll just comment this line for a demo purpose, and yeah, if we can just run this. So this is just a dummy variable. So this is the root path we are getting. Since I commented this line, the method further method will not be executed. So I am printing here the file.get part just to demonstrate this. So since I have only one C drive, so this is the root path we are getting. So I'll just uncomment this one to the normal program functions. And comment the system. Yeah. So once we get the root path here, so this is going inside the parse all files function. So after this function is executed, so since we are calling a function, another function here, so the control goes from get root path function to path all parse all files function. After completely executing this function, the control comes back to this function, get root path function again. So we'll see what is inside this. If you just control click here, yeah, we get this. So in the parse all file function, this is actually a recursive function. So I'm taking one parameter called parent directory. Also, this also should be in try catch or throws exception. So here I'm just taking one files array inside a variable called files in dictionary, where I'm calling this parameter again dot list files. This comment is just for some research purpose. Please ignore this comment. So after that, in this list files, from the root path which we get from the previous function, we just see what are all the directories or what are all the folders which it contains. Dot list files is a function in Java which returns an array of path names of all the directories available at that path. So if the directory or a path is not null, that means if it contains some files which is not a null value, if it enters this for loop, and since it has a lots of data, we are iterating through for each loop, I mean enhanced for loop, for file f inside all the directories inside this array. If the file is a directory, then we should go and call this function again, the recursive function. And this one I have used this because we have here I have just used this if the okay, so f is the local variable here, which is of the file data type, which runs through this file directory array, which consists of all the directories from the root path, and also the chain continues. If the root path, if the C drive contains a folder called abcd, and abcd contains a folder called efgh, and efgh contains a folder called xyz, then through all these iterations, all the folders are covered respectively in the same order. So since we are calling this recursive function with method called get absolute path, so here I have used this function because we have certain folders, certain default folders like .m2, .git, .kintel, and everything. So all these contains the any build jar files or something like that. So we normally do not create any files within these .eclipse, .git and all. These are the software path. So I'm just skipping this one in order to make the search faster. Or if you don't want to skip, you can just remove this condition. That's it. That's perfectly fine. So inside this function, I'm calling the same function again, which is called recursive function, and I'm passing the argument called get absolute path. So this get absolute path of this variable returns the absolute path, so which were in the first program I showed, right? So this is the absolute path. For example, okay, for this directory, this is the absolute path. If I want the absolute path of this one, I just have to copy this one and so this is the absolute path of this file. So absolute path means the path from the C drive to that file, including that extension. So this method returns that particular thing. So after that I get the absolute path. I'm just converting this f2, I'm just assigning this f2 another variable of the same data type called file. So after that I'm converting that the same thing to the string method in order to publish that, in order to print. So just for the demonstration purpose, how it will go, we'll just uncomment this and run once. So why does this program takes a little bit time is because when we print this path here, which consists of all the directories in this computer system, we can see why does it take little bit time. So I'll just run this one. Enter name of files. This is asking because in the main method I have typed this one. So we can just give any dummy name, for example, any dummy name, for example, hi or something. So here the list goes on. Can you see? So these are all the absolute path of all the directories, all the folders, all the files which is in the computer system. So this is the reason it takes little bit time. So since I have uncommented that for the demonstration purpose, all these are the files, folders, everything this laptop contains. So this prints all the absolute path of all the files. So this is the thing. We'll just stop this one in order to continue with the program analysis. So now we can just comment this part. We don't need that one now. Okay. So anyhow, we have got the absolute path of all the files. So after that, we are checking. So here we are getting the file to be searched in the variable name called string. Name. Okay. So we are checking if the file is this one. So file.getName, these are all the methods in Java. So if that file now dot get name equals ignore case, We are not concerned about the uppercase or lowercase. We are just considering if those entered name and the file name which is in the which is in the computer are same, or if that is true, then it's okay, it will continue, then that is good actually, then it continues inside this function. Or if it fails, then there is another condition. If the file name I mean the file name which has got from this console, we are converting that to lowercase. All the file name should be converted is converted to lowercase. Dot contains, if the file name dot contains the name given by user, and we are also converting that to lowercase because this contain methods in Java is case sensitive. So if there are two, one uppercase and one lowercase, then there is a higher chance that the file is ignored during the search. So we, in order to make the search easy and compatible, we are converting both into a lowercase so that the contains case sensitive method is being diffused. So we, for example, if the file name is abcdefgh and user gives only efgh, so in that case also this condition should pass, and we have to get the available files, right? So that is the reason we are checking this one. And if it is equal, then we have already declared a if any one of these two conditions are becomes true, then we have declared a global variable called count, which is of the type int or integer here, that is incremented, and the file which is here is assigned to another file variable. I know this can be improved a lot in programming, just for simplicity. So this is assigned here, and we are printing here available files are all the available files will be printed here. Since one of these condition will be true or both are true, we'll get the file name here, and in the path the absolute path which contains, so that will be displayed here. After this function is executed, the control returns to this get root path method. And if the count is 1, that means the only one file is present in the whole computer which matches with the user inputted data. Then if it is only one unique file, then I have defined another method called open file. When we get into this one open file, then we can see if it is asking, do you wish to open the document, type yes or no in the output which I showed you that time. So we are taking input from the user, yes or no. If the user input is yes, then we have a special function in Java called get desktop.open file. So this function opens any file, any application present in that particular path. So that is done. And if it is not, if the file is not unique, if it is greater than 1, then open specific file. Here I have called one more method called open specific file. So what does open specific file do? So there are more than one file which are similar to the user entered input. So the console asks if any one of the file has to be entered, then please click on yes, or else no. If it is no, then it returns to the previous function and the program terminates without giving exceptions. So but if the user inputs yes or something like that, then the whole path, the whole absolute path will be copied and pressed enter. And again I'm calling the same method called desktop.open that file, and that file will be opened. So in this way the program executes in a good way. Opens all searches and open also the files. So here we are searching just from the computer system. So we can also use if you are using some database, we can also use database for those things. For example, like for example JDBC, here is a program which can be where we retrieve the files from MySQL database. So this can also be used using the similar logic to search and open the file. So yeah, this one I'll put this okay in this program in the comment section down below. Yeah, here it is. And if this is for searching the files in all the directories in the system. So if we can customize this one, we can also search in only one specific directory if we want. So that also I have made it. Here I have used the constructor, where in the main class we just take the input from the user if in one directory. So here is the directory which I have taken for an example. This program searches only in given directory, and here we are using this path example. Here also the same thing. So if the path is incorrect in the open specific file, if the path is incorrect, then the path is entered, a wrong message will come. Else if the path is correct, then the file will get opened. The same thing, the same trick is used here also. If the path is correct or not. If the path is correct, then we can list all the files or search any specific files if we want. So yeah, and here the searching data.java. Here I have typed the program where it searches of the file only in one directory. Everything, the whole logic and algorithms are same. So I have the only difference is that I have entered a new method here, all files. So this gives the input of all the files and folders available in that absolute path given by the user. So it also prints out the number of directories and number of files which are available in the given specific path here. So I have taken this path for an example. So I'll have created the object of this class in the main class. Where I have created? Yeah, here I have created. And then if you want to, we can press yes if you want to see all the files or folder. We can just run this program. So I'll just press yes. I'll just maximize this video. Yeah, and if I press enter, yeah, here it is. So here we can see all the files and folders available in this path, exactly in this path, in the documents path. So these are all the files and folders, and also at the last we can see number of directories are 13 and direct number of files are 35. So this is coming because as soon as I press yes, SDF.all files, this method is called. This particular method is called. So this particular method, it checks in the array of files. It just checks if it is directory or files, and the count and number of counts are increased, and at the last it prints out the name and number of counts. So yeah, that's it happens. And if I don't want that one, I have to search a particular file or folder, then we can just print no, and we can just print out whichever files we want. For example, let me take for example any file present here. I'll just consider this om.pdf and go back to Eclipse and just run this program. Yes. No, I don't want to see all the files here. I just want to see a search for a particular file. So I'll just enter no, and then enter file name to be searched. These are all the basic things given from Java. I'll just copy paste home. So available files and folders are all these things. In the documents.pdf, I have written all those things. I can just copy paste anything, and the path and the file will be open. For example, here I have copy paste. If I press enter, so this is also a research paper, so it will get opened. I'll just see another name, philosophy of Sri Madhvaja, and just run this program again. So I just want to know, and enter. So yeah, available, there is only one unique file available. I'll just press yes, and yeah, it opens. Okay, So for this thing I have just done. So if it is pressed, if the user input is yes, and that particular function is called. If the user input is no, and we are passing that parameter called str, which actually is a user input, the file which has to be searched in that folder, and that particular file is called in extracted file. So here it oh sorry, not this function, this function. Yeah, okay, in extracted file. So this takes an argument, and it checks in the for loop in the file thing. So file is coming from this one. As I am using the constructor here, and path should be path, and all the global variables declarations should be initialized here itself, since we are using the constructor, because all the global variables, all the variables are initialized at the time of constructor itself, so it should be initialized here. And then in the extracted file methods, in that particular thing, we are running a variable called f in the particular files which we obtained, the value obtained from the constructor. And here the same thing is done as for the previous thing. We are taking the name of every files there, and we are comparing or equating if it is equal to or contains that particular thing, and we are incrementing the value and making the file exist as true, which was earlier false according to boolean data type. And then we are printing all the suggested files, all the related files. And if the count is 1, then it directly jumps to the open file function, where it just takes a user input if it has to be opened or not. If it is opened, then it will directly open through this method of Java. Else, if the file exist is false, then it just prints out file do not exist, because here I am making file exist as true, because if any one of these condition or both the condition are true, then the file exist is true, else the file doesn't exist, that's it. So that's why I'm printing out this one. Else, if the count value is more than 1, then yeah, search is completed obviously, and then open specific files which consist of the same thing. We'll just check the path. If the path is correct, copy pasted is correct, and then we just take one more variable of the data type file, and then pass the same absolute path to this method, where the Java opens that particular application. So this is how it works. So this import will be done automatically after we write the program. So yeah, I'll just So I'll just post this in the comment section. Hope this helps. Thank you.